single-family zoning. These areas are highly protected against change.
Single-family suburban housing is the least politically conservative way to create a neighborhood. Let me explain. The video I'm stitching showed some crazy things. Like in San Jose, California, 94% of the land is zoned single-family housing. This means the government isn't just regulating what people can do on their property. It's excluding every type of action someone might want to take on their property except for living in a house. You can't have a business on that property. You can't create an investment building to rent out to other people on that property. You can't do agriculture or farming or any sort of husbandry on that property. Like, it's not just that it regulates those things, it literally says you can't do those things. It's outlawed every type of individual liberty other than just existing in a house, a building that you own. I feel like this is the essence of government overreach, a default state of property where everything is excluded except for one type of action. Now, the last video I was critical of the suburbs, someone said, as long as there's free choice, there's gonna be the suburbs. And let me actually agree with that with you. If you want to pay for all the roads, all the amenities, the parks and everything, and you want to decide only houses can be built here, you can do that. And a version of that already exists today. On the high end, they're called gated communities. And the reason a lot of people don't live in gated communities is because they can't afford them, because it's expensive. And the reason it's expensive is that in order to exclude other people, and they do this to feel safe or special or whatnot, in order to exclude other people and other causes, they take on the cost of maintaining the roads. A suburban community is a gated community that the government subsidizes. Now, there's also a version of this on the lower end. They're called condominiums. When you buy a condo, you typically pay a fee to keep the maintenance and upkeep of the private roads, usually parking lots or parks or playgrounds or the shared roofs that you have. But in order for condos to be affordable, whereas gated communities are not, notice that they're extremely dense, multiple units together, very little yard and more shared common space, like a park in the center, something like that. Look, I'm not as radical as other people. I think private property should allow for single family housing if you want it. But if you want it, you have to pay your fair share. And if you paid your fair share, you'd probably find that a lot fewer people actually want it. The suburbs are subsidized by the cash flow positive communities, which usually look like urban areas. And urban areas are outlawed for the vast majority of city property. Most cities outlaw dense mixed-use development. They outlaw the thing that makes the money. And ironically, conservatives are excited about policies that tell people what they can and can't do with their property.